Justice is back, or did it never leave? It never left, no. But HBO Max did release some more content on Zack Snyders Justice League. They now released the Justice is Gray. It is the black and white edition of Zack Snyders Justice League, which is so cool. There are so many great movies that have done black and white renderings of their original films. And I've never I've never really been an advocate for them, never really found them interested. However, I did check this out. Within the first few minutes, I completely forgot I was watching a black and white rendering of this film. It was still so immersive. It was so cool to be able to see different textures on like suits or on surfaces. It was just, there were so many things that you could pick up in that kind of black and white scale that you couldn't with the color. And again, it's not better, it's not worse, it doesn't take away. It is just so, it's immersive, it's a totally different experience. So Justice is Gray. It's not just, I mean, it is just a black and white version, but it's so cool. I've never, again, seen a black and white version of a film and said, oh wow, that was good. I've always kind of preferred the color rendering. Whereas this, and certain, like I forgot I was watching it, and then at certain points in the film, it was just like really cool to see some of the shots. And then again, you're picking up different stylized textures, different things that you just couldn't see with the overwhelming color palette, which again is absolutely beautiful. But with it toned down, your eyes, you can pick up a little bit more in the scene. So really cool. Definitely added bonus content. Kudos to HBO Max for throwing it out there. I think they're really testing and they're really seeing a positive inclination, or at least some evidence that's pointing to, hey, this is something that people want to see and they want to see more of it. The fact that they've released a lot of kind of behind the scenes content with Zack Snyder, the history of Justice League, some of the behind the scenes visual effects, and hearing more and more the positive reviews that this is getting, it's mind-blowing, and it's, again, beyond expectation. The film, for me, I had a certain expectation, especially coming from BVS, which isn't just my favorite comic book movie, but it's literally one of my favorite movies of all time. And for this to come up and shatter the expectation that I had for it, and then not only that, but to completely just blew my mind and blew the mind of so many fans, and just the grit that Zack Snyder has in this film is just, it's awesome. So the 4-hour length, it can be daunting for some, so don't feel like you got to watch it all in 4 hours. You can break it up. They got it in 7 parts, and then an epilogue. So you can stop it right after you finish part 4. That's kind of like a good halfway point, and then you can pick it up the next time you watch it. I definitely want shout out to Mary Gillen to watch this, because Mary, you'll really dig this film, especially with the Amazon Warriors, because it's like that's your sisterhood. I've seen some of the scenes with the Amazon Warriors, and you'll totally be like, okay, you'll be down for it, for what you see. And there were some parts I was watching, I'm like, that's Mary Gillen right there. So it's cool that we've kind of been able to reconnect. So thoughts to you, and then Garrett too. You gotta watch the movie. We gotta be able to talk about it. Again, if you guys are looking for more info, I definitely want to go over like a spoilers kind of video. I really want to dive into like each part, what got me excited and what I loved, and then maybe talk about the things that maybe you didn't like, or maybe you did like it. So I want to kind of have that conversation. I know plenty of people who didn't like it, who really think that they don't know why this movie got released, but there is really a huge story behind it. So if you're more interested, I'm trying to make these videos as short, this is a short long video. I'm going to try to make it as shortly long as possible. So these videos, try to get as much information as I can in there. And there is so much more to the movement behind why this film got released than what a lot of people realize. And it's so much more than just a movie coming out. So the fact that we got a full 4 hour, it's just, again, it's absolutely exceeded and blown away expectations from a lot of fans, myself included, and we want to see more. And that's the whole reason why this film even got released. A few days ago, Ann Sarnoff, who is the CEO at Warner Brothers, came out and she was like, hey, we're really appreciative of everything that Zack Snyder has done for us. We've enjoyed working with him. However, the direction we're going, we don't want to revisit anything that he's done in the past. We kind of have our own laid foundation, if you will, of what we're going to do, and we're going to pursue that. So when she came out and said that, a lot of people are discouraged that, oh, well, the Snyderverse isn't going to continue. When I would say that the Snyderverse would have stopped in 2017 when we got that other Justice League film, because that's essentially what Warner Brothers wanted. They wanted to cease and stop everything that Zack Snyder's, the direction that he was heading. and kind of take a different tone, a different approach to the universe. And I'm not going to even get into that right now. What I want to get into is what Ann Sarnoff said, which is they don't want to revisit the Snyderverse, if you will, or restore the Snyderverse. And honestly, that doesn't take any hope away from me, because this film, the only reason why this film is out is because of HBO Max. It's not because of Warner Brothers. They made the sweet deal. It's because HBO Max came in. They're a platform that's trying to create a following. They're trying to create subscribers. And so they thought a way to do that was eventually seeing the evidence from this movement of, hey, we want this Snyder Cut movie, we want this film. So they've seen a following behind this film unlike any other. And so they saw a potential for an increased subscription count to get this film to appease to a certain amount of fans. And I'm telling you right now that is doing well beyond what they had projected. That a lot more people than just the Snyder Cut movement fans are on this bandwagon now. It's created such a big, diverse audience that people who aren't even really like comic book oriented have enjoyed this movie. When we did the first 3 a.m. watch party, the 3 a.m. Launch of the film when it first came out, we had my family here, and the only people that were awake by the end of it was myself and my sister. And for my sister to be awake for a 4-hour movie that she was clearly invested in speaks volumes. Again, she's not a huge comic book film or just comic book fan in general, and for her to enjoy it as much as she did, I mean, we laughed, we cried. It was awesome. So this film has been so much more than catering to just a certain audience. It's really opened up a new chapter, a new book, if you will, for a lot of people who have seen a comic book film in the past. And this one just, it separates itself from any other comic book film that I've ever seen. It truly is like a graphic novel brought to the screen, which is so cool. So if you're interested in that, check it out. If you've watched Zack Snyders Justice League maybe once or twice or 3 or 4 or 5, or I'm not going to say how many times. If you've watched a few times and you're looking for a different experience, I would highly recommend you checking out the black and white, the Justice is Gray. It is super cool. Again, visually breathtaking. And it again, it's a lot of fun to watch. So check it out if you haven't. And we continue to be behind this movement of hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Hope is not lost. It is really in the hands of HBO Max at this point. I truly believe that. And I believe that if they see the potential for a merit to continue his storytelling, they will do it. I don't really believe that they invested the odd $70 million that it took to finish this cut of the film to kind of just make it a once-off and wash their hands of it. I really think it was an experiment for them to see that if it was something to kind of dive deeper in down the road. They're seeing potential and they're seeing merit for that. We continue to band together. We continue to, under the umbrella of this movement of family. It's all about family love and bringing awareness. And again, it's about raising awareness for those for mental health awareness and for suicide prevention. They've raised over $500,000 for those charitable contributions alone, as well as trying to raise money for when the release was first announced as far as is the Snyder Cut real. There was a lot of money that was raised to put up billboards and put up, so there's a lot more behind the story than kind of what meets the eye. So if you're interested in more of that, let me know and we can talk more about that. But continue to hashtag restore the Snyderverse. It's not dead in the sense of this is all we're getting. I really believe that the fans can band together continuously. I mean, we've already done that. We continue to stay united. We continue to stay loving in the direction of what Zack Snyder would have this whole movement go. I mean, there's no limit. Zack Snyder said himself that he never thought that this film would see the light of day. So the fact that it's been released, that says something. So we can't give up hope. We're not going to give up hope. I remember the days of wearing the tinfoil hats when we didn't even know if this cut really existed. And here we are with the full-fledged 4-hour epic movie that's out. So highly recommend it to anyone that's a fan. Obviously, if you're a fan of just film in general, you got to check it out. Again, this is a film unlike anything that's been done in film history as far as this coming out. So really cool just to see that. So please, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Let me know. Maybe you can come back and comment and tell me what you thought. And I appreciate everyone who's liked and watched these videos. I ask that you please share it and support, and we appreciate that so much. Stay blessed, stay well, and remember, pray for your enemies because they need it. And we thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye.